It's basically what life is all about, isn't it? It's very short and then it's gone. And while life goes on, it seems to us as if we are universes of knowledge and experiences and feeling and identity. The thought of being totally nothing in a couple of years' time, which is like a second, in the history of the universe, is quite unbearable to think of. I think the theater experience, creating life, which isn't really real life, it's just illusion, resembles this dilemma of human life in its form. And that makes it nutritious, was the word you...
That's my own coinage.
I kind of find it very nutritious, yeah, indeed. I think that's what art is about anyway. To... what's the word? Put a bandage on the wound, which is impossible to heal, the fact that we're going to die. I just enjoy being sort of a creator of all this, together with my collaborators and performance. If I can make it easier for people to endure the pain which is involved in the fact that we are going to die, I would be very happy. What happens in the opera is, of course, that the singer, he extends the border of human expression to something extreme, and he or she thus makes it possible to express feelings that we all have, but not able really to express. Now we're talking about, obviously, all these great works of composers in the Western world, which may have made it to the opera scene. And the stuff I've done, now Shostakovich, before that Mozart, Ravel, Prokofiev, Monteverdi, who all sort of been the very best of their time and their style in terms of making something which deals with the human condition in a way that nobody else have managed to do, yeah? And to keep this stuff alive through the singer, with his extreme capacity of expression, I think that's the great thing about opera, really. Thus creating an expression which would make us all experience our life more true. At least that's my fascination working in it. I think we all want to know, we all want to experience things we haven't experienced before, So if we can have, I guess, all these stories in the Western culture retold to us in a new way that really opens what they are, that's going to be, that's going to make us happy, which is all opera regie is about, as far as I'm concerned. The problem of new composers writing music for the opera, as far as I'm concerned, is that they're not able to, in the same way as Shostakovich or Mozart did, to combine, high and low, so to speak. Opera is a very popular art form, People go to opera from all classes of the society. And obviously, it's very Shakespearean in that sense. Like Shakespeare wrote this play for kings and beggars, you know, and everybody could enjoy it. Now, modern opera sort of lost contact with this high and low essence of the music. You take Shostakovich, for example, which is natural for me as I just coming back from Berlin, being sort of a Shostakovich junkie at the moment. Obviously, his music's filled with everything. Obviously, the inheritance of the composers before him, but also what was the music of that time, like the circus, like the jazz, you know, like folklore, everything, which makes it into something much bigger than just what is interesting for new music enthusiasts of today. At least that's what I would like to develop, if I have the possibility in the opera, something that brings in, you know, all that we got in all that which is music today, which is a sort of a fantastic resource, you know. Well, we had 170 codfishers involved in Metsensk. It took a painter 1J to dot them. So that person must have worked with it for nearly half a year, one fish every day. Obviously, and she was extremely happy doing it, you know, and putting her love into it. And obviously that's why they are looking so great and alive as small pieces of art themselves. Now, obviously, being able to inspire and you know, make so many people work together with that sort of enthusiasm, whatever their function in the production are, is of course gives me a great pleasure. And probably because so much human energy and I think love for the art form is put into it in every department, you know, like maybe 400 or 500 people. That's really something that you will experience when you see it, you know, if there's been a great process leading up to it, which was the case in Lady Macbeth from Metsensk. The greatest pleasure is being able to make all these people work at their maximum capacity, and also do stuff they didn't think they were able to do, I guess. Express themselves in a way they thought they were not possible for them. Oh, it means a lot to every Norwegian, I guess. It's became part of our identity now as a nation, which is quite important. Obviously, I love it for the intimacy of the auditorium, for the great acoustic capacity. Obviously, Norway finally became a nation of a great culture nation of Europe, yeah. And this collaboration with Drct OAT is, of course, an example of that. So obviously, they gained a lot from a production that was produced here. So it's very important to everyone. It would be impossible for the Drct OAT to have a production like Lady Macbeth of Metsensk if it wasn't produced at this opera house, at the and with its location as well, I guess. Obviously, it associates a lot to what living in Norway is about. The whole rehearsal process is really a kick, you know. Obviously, getting more and more intensive the closer you get to the performance or to the opening. Obviously, because there's so many loose ends. There's so much which might go wrong, might not be achieved, or it might just come together. And obviously, when things like magic comes together, imagine an 80 people choir. They've never been there until the opening night, all everybody together. There's vast problem, you know, getting them to do the same thing at the same time. I mean, they're all individuals, basically. Then finally, on the general rehearsal, or maybe just on the opening, everything is right. Everything works. Everybody's singing for the first time because they've been marking their way through rehearsals. So obviously that's quite a, what would you say, it's like the birth of the performance, yeah. And obviously the joy when it works is overwhelming, yeah. But for me personally, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing as well, I guess.